Hey, you guys, my name is Leah Pearson. I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and I just got back from about a week of camping and wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I intentionally worked leading up to camping so that my business is still moving forward. Because I think one awesome thing about this business and this opportunity is that you do have flexibility where you can pick up and go camping midweek if you want, or if something comes up where you want to go out on the boat or do summer activities, that is a possibility to do that. However, your business is going to reflect 90 days from now what kind of activity you're doing. So even though you might not see right now the repercussions of you taking the first half of July off, or unplugging for a week of camping last month and this month, or whatever the case may be, you are going to see the repercussions at some point in your business. And if you have goals in this business, you need to keep consistently working. That's the bottom line. You have to consistently be putting the work in. However, you can work in a really smart way so that you're able to soak up moments with your family. And that's something that I wanted to kind of share how I did that over the last few weeks. So one thing that is really super simple to do is working ahead of time in regards to your daily IPA. So your reach outs, your follow-ups, and your customer care. You need to be reaching out to people every day. You need to be following up with people every day, and you need to be checking in with your product users, whatever your customer care looks like, the day of ordering, the 3-day mark, the 7-day mark, the 10-day mark, however you do that, whatever your customer care is, you need to be sending messages in all three of those areas. So what I like to do is if I am planning on camping, say next week, I'm going to double up the amount of reach outs that I'm doing this week, the amount of follow-ups that I'm doing this week, and I'm going to be looking ahead at customer care as far as who needs to be taken care of in that following week, and making sure that I'm checking in with them ahead of time, so that way no one is falling through the cracks. One other thing that I like to do is if I have coaching calls, I can fit a couple of them in depending on, like I go on a bigger camping trip where like my entire family's there. So there's 20, 30 people at a time. It's harder to get away for a coaching call with that. So I will reschedule those coaching calls and maybe put them all towards the end of the week once I'm at home. That's a really good time to do it, like when I'm putting camping stuff away or whatever the case may be. Or if it's just my family, I can pop away for 30 minutes and do a coaching call. No problem. So it just kind of depends on what your circumstances are, but that's one thing that you are able to reschedule. And then the other thing is, I think it's really important that you keep showing up on social media. And I understand the desire to unplug because you want to rest and recharge with your family. I get that, but I do know that you can be very intentional with your time too. And so if you know that you're going camping next week, you can pre-plan all of your posts for that week so that you are still showing up with an open storefront on social media. Social media is literally our storefront. I know we say that a lot, but if you are not showing up and if you're not posting on social media, it's like having a closed sign on a brick and mortar business. Like, I'm closed, I'm not open for business. And people legitimately trust you through you showing up and having the integrity and the day-to-day consistency of showing up. That's what makes them buy into you and trust you. So showing up on social media is super important. And you can do that while still being present with your family if you just take some time and pre-plan posts. So you can plan however long you're gone. If it's a week long, then you need to be planning 5 Plexus posts, some personal posts. It's easy to throw up, personal posts, or you can plan all of those posts ahead of time. So pre-planning social media posts. And then I wanted to touch on the idea of unplugging too. Something that I found for myself is I do have times where I feel like I just need to back off and unplug from social media. But usually I catch that because I'm not being intentional with my time with social media. So you might have this overwhelming feeling like I really just need to unplug with my family and recharge. And that's okay. Like, I'm not condemning that by any means, but I just wonder, what if you were more intentional with your time and you had what I call a rhythm of rest in your day-to-day where you're not consuming as much social media? Because I bet your desire to step away and get away from that and unplug is actually probably coming from an overconsumption and scrolling on social media. So just being intentional with your time in your day-to-day, I think, is going to make it so that you're not going to have those feelings of like, I need to get away and almost like retract. Or that's been true for me. So just be intentional with your time, have a rhythm of rest, have boundaries with yourself with how much social media you are consuming. I have found that, I used to unplug and scroll social media as like a way to just unplug because we did not have any TV in our house. But I found that that's not a really good way for me to unplug and unwind right now because I can't shut work off if I'm just scrolling social media because I work on social media. So finding a different way to unplug and not consuming as much social content will make it so that you're not having that overwhelming feeling of having to get away. So just being really intentional with that. So planning your posts ahead of time, being intentional with your scrolling and just your time on social media. So I think at the end of the day, if you want to have a business where you are able to step back and have that residual income, you need to put in the work now. And you cannot take every single summer off. You cannot take weeks or months off at a time right now if you are in a season of building. I think I heard Fallon say this in a video at one point where I think it was on the topic of summer actually, where she was talking about how, everybody sees me unplugging and just spending time with family over the summer. But I mean, how many years has she been in this business and where are her points at? Where is her stability as far as her business goes? She's got massive residual income at this point. But if you are in a building stage, you need to have the mindset that you need to be intentional and put your nose down and continue to work because it is going to pay off in the long run. If you want to have that flexibility, we do have some flexibility right now, but it's not the flexibility to take a month off at a time if you want. You still need to be showing up and doing the work day to day if you want to be able to build and be at where some of our diamonds at, where they can unplug for a time in a season. And I think if you have that vision of that's what's possible, if I keep working now, that is what makes it doable. And that's what gives you the fuel to do this in the day by day right now. So just wanted to share that. Make sure that you're being intentional with your time. I think the other idea too is that we can have the mindset that because it's summer, maybe nobody wants to buy right now, or my business is just slow, or I don't know, like you can have a lot of different excuses or mindset things in regards to summer. But for me personally, I started at the tail end of spring and I ranked to Ruby, over the course of the summer. Like you can have massive growth in your business if you're being intentional. So it doesn't matter what's going on with other people. They might be checking out, but you can choose to be intentional with your business right now and continue to grow by 100 points, a couple hundred points by ranking up over the course of the next few weeks if you keep moving and keep growing and just make that determining factor that I'm going to keep showing up for my business. So wanted to share that. I hope that's helpful. Plan ahead, be intentional, double up on your IPA ahead of time, stay consistent with posting, and you're going to see the fruit of that. So thanks, guys.